talk about our map veto, pull things up. As usual, it's a best of one. So we have 7 maps in our map pool, and we don't have auto bans anymore from the last playday. So you keep banning until there's 1 map left. Cafe out, Coastline is out, Clubhouse is out, Villa is out, Consulate's out. We can see it. Yes, we can.
All right.
Alrighty. I know we're all excited for it.
We get theme park. Maybe we can get Cali randomly on here, and then we'll have all the new stuff in one day.
If there's a Thatcher ban, maybe.
Oh, there you go. I don't know if there's unless they're really just trying to make it much harder to attack Throne Room. But I think teams will probably just bring Maverick anyway, so who knows?
Yeah, I would not be surprised, to say the least. So we're going to get ready to head into this. But what do you guys think at home? Again, you can vote on all these polls on Twitter at ESL Rainbow 6 for every single matchup. And yeah, BDS favors 79%. Wow. Is it surprising, though?
They've built up quite the fan base, but they also have shown that, yeah, they are definitely overall the better team versus Chaos. But Chaos is a team that's managed to stick around through a lot of relegations when, despite kind of iffy performances. So if BDS has an off day, I could see Chaos being able to capitalize it. But if BDS is playing BDS, it's going to be rough for Chaos. At least it's a new map, though, that might equalize things a little bit.
All right. We're going to head on into the match, Chaos versus BDS. By the way, Devin, Caliber Jacob, that is, says that he loves you. So.
Oh, wow. Mutual.
Thank you, Jacob.
Hey, I believe he's got a new podcast going as well.
Does he?
I believe so.
There's so many podcasts. Honestly,
right?
It's cool to just sit back and talk about video games on podcasts.
It sure is, isn't it?
It sure is, right.
Oh, the Monty ban against Chaos. Not a surprise there. But this is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see what the meta is going to be like on this map, right? Because it's so new-ish. And so it's definitely a question of like, what will the meta be in terms of bans and sites stuff. Obviously, we won't know what the second one would have been for attack because that's more of a target ban. But we do know the usual defender suspects are going to go. I think we're likely to see a lot of Throne Room, but there's the possibility that these teams have other things up their sleeve.
Okay, you know what? For people that haven't watched, there's been like 2 Japanese Pro League matches that played on Theme Park.
As well as the Spanish National.
Exactly. There were 2 matches in Spanish Nationals that were also played on this map. Now, I was able to watch at least 2 of those 4 games. And honestly, the map is definitely going to take a while to be explored. In the beginning, what a lot of teams will do is reinforce many, many walls. And only later, once people get comfortable, do we see sites being extended with more shield play. And I expect from these 2 teams to be kind of ready for it. Chaos were not at Invitational. They were sitting the whole time preparing for this, and they knew Theme Park was coming. So I would not be surprised if, Syred had a few things in the back that he was planning. That's Chaos's coach. And BDS, we're so busy playing Invitational, it might be a time for it to exploit. But there is Throne Room finally being played, our first site. However, soft destruction is so important on this map, isn't it, Devin?
Yeah, it sure is because, there's only a limited amount of vertical play. For example, there's the tops of those walls that you've got to worry about because those are going to be used for impact tricks, but they also are an opportunity for the attackers to throw grenades back over at you, which is where something like Wamai or Jaeger is helpful. And then you've got to worry about top floor and setting up rotates on top floor to be able to, like where Vito's setting up in Vault, for example. That's one of my favorite soft destruction spots here on this map is that new rotate across the top of Yellow Stairs over to Cafeteria now. Or Cafe rather. I think that'll be a pretty big one we see used in a variety of different plays, especially with these top floor rotates. Now Vito, for example, gives them the opportunity to rotate in and out of Vault. But it is a tricky rotate because, it can be difficult to get up to. That particular spot without, rotating directly into it. We'll see them push towards Cafe, though. They want to clear this out. That is one of the entrances on this map on the top floor that I think is a good entry spot, specifically because it's, somewhat constrained. The other one being this entrance here that leads, I believe, towards Cache. It could be kind of difficult, though, to get your way in there with, mute jammers and Mozzie jammers, things like that. Mozzie pests, rather. Making droning hard because there's 2 entrances into that room you've got to worry about.
Now, Redshire will take a bit of damage walking in as a Thatcher, but he's still alive, and Nitro Cell was expended for that. And in the meantime, BDS are wasting no time. It's all about top floor control. It's what every map is like. You're attacking a site below, take what's on top of it, force your opponents back, and don't allow them to force too much time off of you. Shaiko on the Ash, unsurprising that I say that, of course. He's going to be looking all the way down into initiation here from the office showers. We'll go in for a drone, but Redgrove will find the moment. Alem is going to get shot down. And as he tries to run back, a beautiful angle from Vito. We'll find one more. Shite goes down. And Chaos are up 2 players on a crucial site when it comes to manpower. One more from Vito. And that's Rafal out of play. Man, this is huge.
It's definitely looking like the BDS don't necessarily have any idea how Chaos are playing this, but this is Chaos on defense. This is classic Chaos defense. They're just all over the place. That is the way they like to play. That is the way they're very good at playing. If they can continue to do so, this is going to be actually pretty tricky for BDS because they've got to start to corner some of them. Renewals finds one more. It is all on just the last player BDS to make anything happen, and it's not going to.
All right. Flawless round from Chaos. They have done their homework, man. It's so obvious. So,
well,
you saw Ironics. I think that's RX. Usually, you should, we kind of know about stuff like this when someone changes their name or someone tells us something about it, but we assume it's RX, but we all know you should never assume, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll see Bunk Daycare as a secondary bomb site, at least for Chaos here. They're going to be bringing out the Goyo and Wamai combo. No Jaeger to go with it, though. Said they'd rather bring the Doc from Red Groove, so we'll see how that works out. But there are plenty of long angles to be able to fight, so having the Doc with the ACOG does help. Cafe definitely going to be a big part of this attack, potentially. It may or may not be the initial prong, but it's definitely something they need to take to be able to put pressure on. That's why I see the shield being set up by Shate. Of course, Wamai being in play means one more deployable shield that is available to defenders on top of the Goyo shields. So that is definitely going to just continue to increase the amount of those that have been taken out. And that, of course, is part of the reason why we see a bit more grenades in play as well.
So, how is this setup gonna go? Like, you're reinforcing into control room. I completely understand that. And are they gonna keep the wall soft between initiation and, well, bunks? That's really the biggest question for me. Personally, I don't like people that reinforce it. In my opinion, always extend out. And that, I think, is exactly what Chaos are trying to do here. They have a rotation hole to walk back into office via the vault. They have many open holes that have been preset between office and the hallway. This is the way to do it. Force your opponents to take gunfights that they just cannot win. And of course, because this map is completely brand new, now we haven't really played it in PL before, it's barely been touched in competitive play, it's always going to give the defense an advantage. That's inherently how Siege works, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the concept of a siege really kind of is about, right? You're just defending your home turf. In this case, attackers, always have to find out what they even have to deal with via drones. Nice lineup of shields there for that ACOG play. A lot of drones being spotted but not caught. No Mozzie being played to really do anything about those drones for the most part. It's going to be a little bit of a slow attack likely from BDS as they just try and figure out what they're going to have to clear out utility-wise before they start expending some of that utility, as they do have a limited amount to clear things out. Nice grenade spot there we'll probably see again in the future. Does sound like they might have popped the Goyo shield. Hopefully.
So
a lot of rotates as well here.
Your Red Groove still holding on in the bathroom. I mean, this is burning a lot of time off of BDS. There's so much work to be done, and the Goyo shields are going to make it even more difficult. Rafal, what a beautiful sidestep there. Shot onto Red Groove. That's a good kill. A lot of damage done to Shate and Renewals, and this will force Secretly back. Just a moment now.
Well, Chaos does look like they're starting to get pushed back pretty heavily, especially with Renewals having taken so much damage. Secretly and Shate also taking some hits. Doc probably being dead first is not really the best for Chaos, because otherwise they would be able to heal those players back up. So they're going to have to deal with being on the back foot. But again, it is a little bit defender-sided in a sense. But now they don't have to clear the top floor then attack down. It is only the top floor they have to fight. So that does allow the players on BDS to be a little bit more concentrated in their attack. And in doing so, hopefully be able to get a little bit more progress like they have been able to do so far.
Yeah. And of course, there's really only the Zofia that you can use in this case and the Ashe. So bringing the Buck might have been a bit more helpful to deal with players inside of bunks. But right now, you're burning time. You're using all your utility if you're Chaos. There's one more smoke canister left on. Secretly, the perfect peek from Vito in the hallway will take down a Lem, so that's the cafe angle completely open. Wamai whiffing the shots, the Shaika will win and get the headshot. There's the finisher, but baited right into Renshiro's line of sight. Renewals will go down. Vito and Secretly last two alive to 3 from BDS. 13 seconds left. You're going to have to walk in, and it is a kill zone. Secretly is going to get one more. There's the hallway being held by the smoke as Vito comes around the corner, checking for that plant. The Ashe will win the gunfight. Shaco, though, will get traded off as Secretly will fire in, and the fuser cannot be planted. You had the time. Secretly was so close to kind of flunking this whole one there, but it works out in the end. It's done. It's working fine, and Chaos will get 2 rounds.
Fortunately, it looks like we might need to do a rehost for Renshiro not having sound at the moment, so hopefully it won't take too long. But so far, definitely looking like Chaos taking the lead on this map, despite the target ban against them. Although that was a target ban for an attacker, which of course they're not on attack yet, so we'll see if that affects their attack rounds. But overall, they're looking fairly comfortable here on Theme Park, a bit more so than we're seeing from BDS. That top floor bomb site, though, definitely lends itself to a lot of hallway fights, in which ACOG should have the advantage, but you're also in a lot of 90-degree angles you have to worry about, and I think that was pretty well capitalized on by Chaos.
Yeah, I mean, they are really playing the onion game, right? They're peeling off bit by bit. There's many angles that they can use and a lot of crossfire that they can use to support the player falling back. Like you saw, there's the Doc that's playing inside a bathroom. There's also the Womai that's playing inside of the vault. So bit by bit, you're able to pull the Doc back, maybe get a refrag, and even if he's lost, you still have a counter angle if anybody decides to rush in from the attack, and you can get a kill back. It seems like Chaos are definitely ready for this one so far, but I'm afraid to call it too early, and I definitely won't, because it's BDS, number one. Number two, it's Theme Park. Brand new map, never played before in Pro League, has been in competitive, at least in EU Pro League. We've seen it played in Pro League in Japan, we've seen it in National League in Spain, but otherwise still untested, basically only in scrims. So we are using such a limited data set to get information on of that it's just not easy for any of us to kind of explain how things go or how they should be going. So we're all learning together at this moment. You can spectate scrims if you want, you know, we can do that, etc. But it's not the same as seeing things in an official Pro League game. And, well, it's defensive sided usually when it's a brand new map. We saw the same thing with Villa, and now slowly teams have started to adapt, where on the attack, they're way more flexible, and they realize that, hey, if we're struggling on the actual operator side, we can actually just change things around and change our strategy to attack from another location, right?
Yeah, and I have a feling once the side switch as well, we'll probably see BDS do very, very well on defense, especially with how aggressive they can be. I have a feeling Chaos will also struggle on their attacks. So this may be fairly well balanced. It's just a matter of who can kind of edge out a few more extra wins. I have a feeling we'll see a lot of top floor as well, so we're likely to probably see the initiation next up there in the office, just as the third bomb site. So definitely going to be a little top floor heavy for all of the attacks, whether it be throne room or either the 2 top floor bomb sites. Attacks are very heavily going to be concentrated onto that top floor. Reminds me a bit of Border in that respect, being a 2-floor map with a lot of top floor attacks regardless. And so I think it's going to shake down somewhat similarly in a lot of ways to Border in that respect. It's just a question of, is there going to be one site that is 100% dominated? Is it going to be throne room? So far, all signs point to yes, but if people find some real serious weaknesses in throne room, we could see the meta shift around a little bit. You remember, for example, when we go back to Coastline with Penthouse was the site,
Look, man, there are so many weaknesses to throne room. I can spend the next hour just going through every single location where you can have, holes that have been opened up, grenades that you can bounce around, you can deny bandits, you can deny qaids, you can deny people even sitting all the way behind the throne itself. There's so much that you can do with that site. You just have to bring the right tools on the attack, and you have to hope that you actually break through that top floor way before the defense has too much time to flourish.
Well, we'll see that initiation office play here, as what we were expecting. This is kind of the meta. We might see a different order to things come out from BDS when they're on defense, but I think that is pretty much the meta right now, is those 3 sites. Like you said, though, there are a lot of possible weaknesses to Throne, so we could see it die off over time. Also, I believe there was a promise from Ubi to adjust Throne Room in the future. I don't know if that's still on the table or what, but I believe that was mentioned, I think, at Invitational. So we may see some changes to it in the future as well. I don't know for sure, but that might shake things up.
I was talking to Shas about this just randomly a couple of days ago, and it's saying, like, what if we had a map with 5 sites? What do we have to have it with, only 4? And on top of that, personally, instead of just having initiation office, why not have it initiation bunks? I think that would also be a potential site.
It would be interesting to see if the game could even support 5 bomb sites. Since it doesn't exist on any map, to my knowledge, I don't know if even the code supports it yet. But that would be nice to see a debut of a map at some point, or a rework where there is 5 sites, just to really kind of make things interesting. But I do kind of like the way it works out with 4 sites and the rotation system, so that if there's one site you don't like, you can just kind of avoid it, or you can save it for a surprise. Well, we'll see how the site goes down. As you said, at first there's going to be a lot of reinforcing of most walls, and rotations here or there.
10 seconds to
It does look like they're looking to extend their site, which is interesting, into
5 seconds.
from initiation into bunks and daycare. So they're really expanding the site out, which is nice. See if that actually works out for them. Though they may overextend themselves, but I can understand. Initiation is kind of a tight room. It's interesting too the way that they designed it to be just above Throne Room, and kind of a similar look to Throne Room for initiation, with that kind of big thing you can hide behind in the middle of the room. The like shrine. See if we end up with any fights in there.
Yeah, the initiation shrine, pretty much. Yeah, you can have a lot of kind of cool callouts in this respect, but yeah, here we are. The Lem's going to be coming on in here and just opening up the hatch to drop down. It's that office initiation play, and it's the extension, as you were talking about. Honestly, my biggest complaint, or my biggest... Oh, no!
Oh!
Vito. That was not... Oh, so close to getting in the second as well. But still, unfortunate there. Ends up working very, very well for BDS at the start. My biggest thing to say, though, about Spanish national games that I watched, that there was not enough shield play. And what Chaos are doing right now is exactly the solution that I wanted to see. More and more shield play. So we continue on. Rafael holding on the land angle inside a bathroom. That was a position that Chaos tried to use and abuse before. And the first round it worked out. Second round, the Doc got shot in the face. And, well, now in the third one, they're not even bringing anyone there. Yeah, Shaiko's going to walk up, and you can tell it's all about that R4C, the higher rate of fire compared to the G36. Flashbangs are in. They're going to try to burn any utility on the other side, or just the stun players. They might be holding between that initiation office cross. Shaiko with a shot down into renewals, and that's going to force the defense back onto site. No damage done to BDS just yet. The Lems will find one more on Red Brood. Shate secretly, last 2 win. Got smokes to use, and there's the kill through the wall. All done by Secretly. And trying to slow things down. Secretly will get another. The SMG-11 is rocking and rolling right here. Shaiko, RX, and Renshiro. The last 3 alive. One more from Shate. It's all working well for Chaos in a 2v2. Spraying down, but no Amai loses it. Shaiko, can anyone win against this man? And Secretly has taken so much damage. Smoke into the back. Tagging? No damage done. You can destroy that Goyo shield at any point in time, or you can use it to your advantage. Gas peeking around the corner. Perfect timing to pull behind the shield, but Shaiko wins it. BDS are going to fight on back. All the angles maintained and used so well by Chaos. But in the end, it's Shaiko. He's playing Ashe. He's probably going to win the 1v1.
Yeah, definitely, especially if it's Shaiko. I did like to see all the soft wall angles being used, though, by both attackers and defenders throughout that match, or that particular round. A lot of good different angles you can set up in this map. And that's the thing, is a lot of this evolution of this map is going to be learning the different angles, setting up for them, preparing for them, using them, especially long angles against people that aren't as expecting of it. That seemed like a very creative setup in a lot of ways. You saw, for example, like, triple walls with only the middle wall reinforced, and then angles opened up on the side walls. Things like that. I think we'll get creative over time here. Bringing the sledge, though, seems like an interesting way to help deal with that. who am I actually going to get picked off of this time? You did hear at least one of his discs go off last round. I think maybe to just pick up a flashbang. But they are going to go back down to Throne. We'll see if this goes any better for BDS this time, as they were picked apart pretty easily by Chaos last time on this attack, just trying to take that top floor. So I gotta imagine BDS is going to be extra cautious about the difficulty of that top floor. And it does surprise me that they're not bringing anything to deal with roamers in terms of Lion, Dokkaebi, Jackal. It's really strange, honestly, to not bring that. There was a, speaking of, we talked about Reaper earlier, had a pretty good video analyzing an attack strategy onto this particular site, was emphasizing the need for that to be able to clear top floor, and we did see that in action that very first round where BDS really struggled with those roamers up there.
I mean, right now it's all about clearing the roamers on the top floor, right? This is the difficult part of attacking into throne room. If you were given free top floor control as a defender, or as an attacker, excuse me, you're fine. You can just spend your time finding tiny angles, throwing grenades here and there, and you have the utility for it, you have the operators for it. But I don't think Chaos are really gonna give it to you that easily, and they're gonna be putting players on that top floor to burn time.
I do see the possibility, though, that, you know, once defenders are starting to lose top floor, we could also see a lot of, if you have good positions downstairs, really stalling out the attackers, just sitting there trying to find holes through the floor. We've seen that on maps like Coastline, where teams will spend forever trying to shoot people down a kitchen. We've seen that on Cafe as well. You can actually trick the attackers into wasting a lot of time with their vertical control if you play smart downstairs, but it may take time to really figure out all those angles first.
So there's Nitro being shot right mid. Was that Shaiko that shot it? You like ADS'd and fired the 2 bullets that were needed for it. That's, I mean,
that would be pretty good.
Reaction, man.
Located a bomb.
Shots in the back. You know, there's one guy in the back throne room. Nitro Cell will stale out into maintenance / kayak. Will not hit, but there's Vital. What a shot. Shaiko has been eliminated and off the flank. Vital's going to be able to run back. You're going to stun the bandit in the back, and this is the play now. Stun, crowd control, and prepare yourself for an all-out assault inside of the throne room. But, you know, this is no Boxer Rebellion. You're going to have a lot up against you, and if you're BDS, you still don't have top floor control, and rotations at the end of the round can happen at any point in time.
It was interesting they were able to get the thermite off and get that wall up without having to use something like Maverick, just the Thatcher thermite combo enough to do that. And if you can, opening up the other side as well, the other wall, not the wall that, you know, next to the wall they opened, but across from it. Shate with a nice play. That is why you want to open up the other wall. Being able to play across from it on the other side of that throne is just so strong still. You saw the peaks from there. Getting 2, that's why you got to find a way to open up both walls. But taking that much downstairs map control is hard, but we're certainly seeing an effort here from RXW. Managed to take down Red Groove, but is all alone against 4. He has to ace clutch this to win.
Yeah, and of course, for people that don't know, Ironix is RX. For people that are asking, we asked, we got a response, so there's the info for you. It is indeed him, and yeah, he's not lost for long. All angles have been held. This is the most frustrating thing with trying to attack into the site, is when you don't have any top floor control, Dragon or top Dragon is so difficult to deal with. It's just, the angle works perfectly for the defense.
Yep, that's definitely a big problem here. We'll see how Bunk Daycare goes, as that was a little bit better, but Throne definitely seems like it's working pretty good for defenders so far. Like you said, there's just weaknesses that people will discover over time. Some of those will work, some of those will be countered, some of those will depend on the ops in play. But overall, I definitely think, you know, we have other maps out there where there's one bomb site that does really well, and then the other ones kind of can be a bit better to attack. And I think we'll probably see that play out similarly, at least for, you know, maybe this entire second half of the season where Theme Park is kind of new. So the upside for attackers, of course, though, is if you win Throne Room, you have to play a different bomb site after. So it's not going to be, oh, this is going to completely dominate competitive play. It's more like, well, there's one really strong one, and the other sites are a bit more attackable.
So 1 round on the attack. That actually might be what separates, you know, the W from the L for BDS. I mean, again, new map, and it's Theme Park. Defense, if they get anything less than 4 rounds, it's not looking pretty. But again, maybe it's just Chaos that are just way more prepared, because if you ask me how it's been so far, is Shaiko just finding kills. that's it for BDS. That's what won them that round, and that's how they've been able to get close in other ones.
Attacker's objective is to locate a
Yeah, I mean, to
bomb.
be fair, their only win was on the 3rd bomb site for Chaos. So that was definitely their weakest bomb site, and that's why you saved it for your 3rd. So unless BDS can win Throne or Bunk Daycare, I don't know if they'll really get very many rounds on their attacks, because just getting in on the 3rd bomb site only, you're only going to get to do that twice. And that leaves you in a 4-2 pretty bad deficit when you switch sides, unless, of course, you can defend just as well as they did. Are seeing a lot of lines of sight opened up here, as well as deployable shields.
Again, those deployable shields are just so good. That's exactly what you're missing when it comes to this map. If you're playing this without deployable shields, you are actively, gimping yourself as a defense. It's something that gives you a huge advantage. You should probably use it. However, there's no extension into initiation this time around, and it's going to be a reinforcement from bunks into it. So the whole spine of this defense is in the central hallway. That's about it. And I like it, unfortunately, because you don't have anybody in initiation. It means a lot of this utility can get sniped easily, as you see with the IQ. But the plan is to play from below, and the nitro goes out. Can you even do anything through that wall? It doesn't matter. It's already been used, and to no avail. No damage done whatsoever. Alpha's vault is already open, so the Ash can come in and rush at any point in time. Drones are set. They'll give information over in the central hallway, and Shaiko can peek whenever it...
Yeah, I have a question. I question whether or not this bottom down defense. Oh, nice kill.
Oh my!
Thermite breach charge must have been just on the other side of the wall. Nicely done. There's a C4 to trade it back, but still looking pretty good for Chaos. Despite that,
this is what I like.
The IQ.
Alems is putting pressure here inside a break. They call this break, checkers, or kitchen. All of them are correct, but that's something that might win the round for BDS. Renshiro will find Reynolds, as this is now advantage to BDS. Smoke should be used by Secretly here. Is actually down on HPs. So busy right now trying to fight that window that Shaiko will collect Vito. Kill close to it. Secretly at around 20 HP. Red Group finding in the middle hallway. Going for the quick reload, and the Ash is ready. Shaiko is just all over the place. The man is a machine.
Well, that's them winning the secondary bomb site now, so Shaiko picking up that 3K definitely made a big difference that round, and also the kill with the thermite breach charge was a bit lucky. So overall, not BDS's best round in the sense that it was still mostly reliant on Shaiko fragging out. But also a lot of those Goyo shields, as you said, were placed in positions where they're fairly compromised. That's the downside of those. It's pretty easy to take out from that side. We will actually see them try it again rather than go to their 3rd bomb site, which I think is probably the smart play here. They didn't do so great on Office. But to be fair, even when they won bunks the first time, it wasn't necessarily a really convincing win. It seems to come down to a lot of gunfights, especially down the hallways, and Shaiko tends to win those. So if they could shut down Shaiko early this time, I could definitely see this be a much, much more favorable round for Chaos. I mean, but then again, you could say that about pretty much any round against BDS.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like, yeah, you shut down Shaiko. Yeah. That's it. That's genuinely what it's been a lot of times. On LAN, it was a bit different. The team was playing a lot more cohesively, at least after they got out of the groups. Once kind of Alems really was able to control the team and put them down. But here, it really is just Shaiko moving forward. He's running for himself, he's waiting for info from his teammates, and it's working perfectly for BDS. 2 rounds on attack is good. If Chaos can get this one, then perfect. And, one thing you have to worry about, though, on this site is that Chaos, they might have been playing for, Banditrix before, but they extend it into initiation. So, actually, this is the play that should happen. If, however, Chaos decided to reinforce inside of B between bunks initiation and stay there, then pushing barrels downstairs might be the strategy. You can impact from below if you're the Zofia, do work against your opponents that are on site. Barrel, by the way, is literally right under bunks, and the opposite end of it compared to throne room is kayaks or maintenance. So there's that. However, one thing to keep in mind is the reason why you extend into initiation is because control room has a completely soft floor. So you can nitro from below all day, every day.
You just have to make sure you have the intel to pull it off.
Base.
There you go. There's that control room. Nice soft wooden floor.
I know it's a lot of call-outs, it's a lot of things without always being able to show you the visuals, but if you've played the map and you've gone through it in custom...
Yeah, you'll get it over time.
Basically, we're all going to learn it together and give you that info as we go. But Shai's going to move on forward, and Rafael is close to him. Shai's going to take a bit of damage at distance, and I wonder if that was just a TCHG fired all down his way from a north.
Definitely trying to contest Shaiko if they can here. He's really trying to work these, and so far he's the only one taking any shots. He's trying to make his way in, but you hear that mute jammer as well. I think is stopping some of this droning, getting forward, trying to fight the Jaeger of Red Groove, who's really playing maybe a little too aggressive against Shaiko, but if he could catch him, like we said earlier, that's a big pick. They could kill him early. It's worth even a trade on a Red Groove. Vito actually the one to finish him off with that C4. You're talking about that C4 in control room? Well, you gotta watch about the C4 in cash floor as well.
Apparently so. That's a good kill. Renewals will get Rafael. It's shocking to be traded off. Wamai, big kill here regardless. Control room, there's one in the back. And there's smoke being thrown right in the face. He rotates, and unfortunate as Renshiro peeks on around and he actually finds the kill. Head directly onto secretly. The man is a stone wall. There's the Wamai discs being put to use as they're capturing utility off from the attackers. Renewals, perfect line of sight inside of initiation, and this is why you always extend into initiation. Listen, people, Ironics, aka RX, is going to be down on the floor, and there's Renewals for the finisher. Both are down, it's all over. Vito and Chaos are going to grab 4 rounds on defense. Expected there's extra style points for Renewals there.
Looking pretty good for Chaos because they were on that defense. 4-2 split, pretty good. I mean, maybe could have been a little bit better with some of those rounds, maybe going a little sideways from what Chaos was trying to pull off. But nonetheless, this is where Chaos need to really show off their attack. But interestingly enough, BDS going to the 4th or off-site drug lab and storage, which is an interesting choice. It's not a bad one, but it's certainly not the best one, or at least not what we've seen as being somewhat the meta. But at the same time, this is kind of its Pro League debut, so we'll see. The meta could be established here.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Definitely a tricky site. One again where you still want to worry about top floor. You don't want the people getting control from above drug. Do a lot with that. The window has moved from its original location inside that drug storage room over to the side rather than being in the middle. So it is a little tricky. That's the window there. Thank you, Marcio. So you can see it's a little bit of a different angle than it used to be. It's a tighter 90-degree angle than to the wall, soft wall next to it as well. You also got to worry about this window here into the arcade. The arcades themselves have been moved around a little bit, different positioning. Nice Goyo shield to fight that long angle. They have extended themselves over here onto the top floor, a lot of top floor control. And so they're setting that up to be able to fight a lot of the pressure coming in from likely Cafe above. So they could try and fight against that. Mute jammers even and reinforced walls all the way up there to try and help stop anyone pushing in from the initiation side. So a very interesting overall defense. We'll see if it works though. Got the pulse to be able to provide a little bit of extra intel on this, as well as possibility of capturing a drone with Mozzie. Yep.
I want to highlight that Vito has only lost 1 drone so far. This is basically the entirety of Chaos's loss in drones. We often talk about the drone economy, and now that we can visualize it, you can tell when it's an X next to that drone, it means that it's already been destroyed. When it's gray, it means that, you know, it's already been deployed, and when it's white, that it's in the back pocket waiting to be used. So use that to your own discretion. Now 3 drones in total have been lost. You're working with limited intel, and it's all about intel in general, specifically on this map. When it's brand new, defense have a big advantage, and when they're working blind, it's not good for you on the attack. Pre-fires in from Shaiko, trying to find somebody coming in from Cafe. He knows there's somebody there, but unfortunately there's so much to cover right now in Theme Park that you know, Chaos are gonna have to take their time maybe for a couple rounds to explore.
Well, it doesn't help as well that they've got the pulse to be able to identify the movements of Chaos. Use those against them, trying to corral them into nice C4 spots, preferably. Nice angle, almost catches the feet there. Chat, they just slightly off on the angle. Nonetheless, he's still going to watch it, see if he can get anything freebies out of it. A lot of pressure coming onto Drug Lab as well here. They're going to try and pressure from above now in Cafe. Almost gets an angle, but it's too far in the... It's really kind of the terrace patio thing that's over top of that spot. They are going to start to drone at least down inside drug storage and get an idea where the players are positioned, but finding an angle on them easier said than done. However, Vito does it. Alems goes down. Chaos finally finding some footwork here, but Renshiro getting off means a minute left and no advantage yet.
There's just should have been no way that people actually played Drug Lab as their first site, but hey man, it's 2020 and crazy stuff happened secretly! The double kill and Renshiro smashed in the face here. Chaos looking for their first round, but there's 2 left. So RX and Chaiko, and we know how much of an effect these two can have. There's 36 seconds left, and time is dwindling. Is there any nitros left? No. You're working blind. You're basically working with guns, and we know what Canadian says about the UMP in comparison to everything else. There it is. RX down. Vito using that verticality to his advantage. Chaiko will get the first kill, though. Still 3 left. Vito, Renaults, and Red Groove. 1 more from Chaiko on Renaults. 2 more angles to play with. Chaiko will take a lot of damage. He gets 1, but not the last. Red Groove swings around the corner, and Chaiko playing T-Hunt here with his opponents at Chaos. Finally is going to get shot down just because he ran out of ammo. Give this guy an unlimited magazine. He will shut anybody down. Chaos, though, at 5 rounds, that's not too shabby.
It definitely looked like Chaiko might have been able to pull that off, too, had he not run out of ammo. It was definitely a great clutch attempt. Like you said, Drug, not the best choice for their first one, but they wanted to get out of the way. They wanted to try it, see if they could pull it off. And who knows, we'll probably see them try that again in the future, but for now, they're going to go elsewhere. Interesting that they wouldn't go to throne room at all, though, when they're so close to match point against them. But hey, you know, they want to do them. We'll see how it works out. If it works out, then great. If it doesn't, then well, then they know what their mistake is, right? They didn't take advantage of throne room.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So we'll see if they set up the expansion here into bunks and daycare. Looks like Alem's already setting some of that up right now. Gotta expand that out. You don't really want straight linear bomb sites without some way to play around them. It does mean extending out your reinforcements as well, of course. Deciding where you want to put those, where you want to leave soft for rotations. You want to make sure that you have limited angles to watch, but then there will be hard breachers like secretly to be able to open up some of those walls, make it a little more difficult. And they've got to worry about those Goyle shield positions and whether or not they're going to be exposed, especially if walls start getting opened. I like that they've got one going to facing into the vault as well to be able to try and stop anyone from there. And then you got Renshiro trying to play here in the control room. Nope, just sitting up in there. So they're extending quite a bit, both to the sides and a little up towards yellow stairs. So I like the flexibility of this, but they do have to make sure they've got to cover a lot of different entrances.
Drones up and running.
So what's the big plan? I mean, for you as Chaos, you either kill Chaiko first or you leave him last and then throw bodies at him, right?
That did work for them last round, barely.
Barely. Too close. The man is a machine. But yeah, even machines sometimes encounter errors, and you yourself, as a programmer, kind of know what that's like, Devin, right?
Machines are perfect.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
That's why you are perfect.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Correct.
Yes, very much.
Well,
Emzobot activate.
yeah. Basically, at this point. Although, I definitely would suspect Chaiko more of being a robot. Maybe you should join Empire. Russian cyborg.
Yep. Just on the side of joystick. So, grenades being primed maybe from Vito, but no. He's going to wait around for extra information. He knows there's one player around the corner sitting by those, by the game room, basically. There are the machines. And the Jaeger is spotted. They got to confirm. They got to get the kill. Shakti's going to drop and find the free kill. Chaiko looking the wrong way. That's teamwork from Chaos, and they're doing it so well. That's the advantage you're looking for. A second one around the corner, and the Mozzie shot down. Shakti's on a roll, and one more for Shakti. The ex-world champion is collecting heads. Oh man, the Renaults with one more. Only one alive. It's Renshiro with the Maestro. We all know Maestro is only good because of his ACOG, and there it is. The ACOG, no, none of it is working in it. Gonna find one kill on Vito. One more onto Renaults. 2K for him. And that diffuser, you can maybe try and go plant it, use it up inside of initiation. Is gonna take a bit of damage finally, and secretly is gonna be planting inside of off. It's smart. There's the time for it. Peeking around the corner. He's going to win one more gunfight. Renshiro with a 3K. 2 more left to win this entire round. Potential ace comeback. Flashbang thrown, though, right into his face. He's going to keep on spraying. Do no damage through the flashbang. And secretly will collect the last kill. Chaos on map and match point. Man, they've been preparing for this for ages.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it. I mean, this is kind of a warning, though, then to other teams to either really pay attention to what they did and outstrat them, or just don't take them to theme park in the future. Definitely looks like they don't want to go throne room. Odd choice when you're on match point. I mean, did they just not prepare a good throne room defense because they figure it's too popular? Seems like this is a really risky play here for BDS. And I don't know. I honestly don't think it'll pay off. Let's see. 6 pick there from Chate. Nothing too crazy. Womai coming out yet again. I think so far we've mostly seen the AUG from him, but I haven't really necessarily been paying attention to the gun he's been using every time.
It's really been mostly AUG. I don't think I've seen the MP5 today. I've seen it in other matches where he's been played, in PL and Nationals, but not really here. BDS are going to play this again with an extension into initiation. So this is a strat, if you ask me. It's the right way to do it. But we haven't seen anybody come into barrels. Again, barrels is the position right under that B bomb set. I don't know if we can go one floor lower just to show that, Marcio, as we saw before. Yes, that's the barrels position there. So you see there's an entry into throne room. The opposite end of it is from kayaks. That's just throne room itself, or maintenance. But you can do a lot of work here from barrels with Zofia, with a buck. We've seen Vito bringing the buck. I think is a super flexible operator in general. So you can use him, you can nade from below, but the big problem is cornering those defenders into one location so you're able to actually do work against them. However, once you're actually inside, I don't think there's much that can stop you here if you're...
Yeah, we'll see. It's definitely so far looking really good for Chaos. Definitely a possibility they could stumble a little bit on this attack, but again, considering it's not throne room, they haven't seemed to struggle too much with anything else other than dealing with Renshiro or Shaiko just mowing down way too many of them, body after body. But here we go. We might have an early encounter between Chate and Renshiro and his magic gun that never needs reloading very shortly. Oh, looks like Shaiko's thinking about possibly a window jump out. He's just looking for the angle right now.
Just keep on crouch. That's the play.
That's it. Oh, that's going to tell you. But no, he's on drone. He doesn't hear it.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't know. As long as they're delaying the Zofia, this might be the time for it. He's looking here and there. He's checking. Maybe there's somebody that's going to jump up. He's going to use the drone as a delay. But the Jaeger knows what's up. Oh, it's a 7.62. It's a very long barrel. He's going to go for the cross, and maybe Shaiko actually spotted him. He's going to check. Maybe for the back of the foot. Oh, man, he's so good with these angles. He's going to find him. A bit of damage done, but Chat is going to pull back at the right moment. Man, this is so hairy. But you know what Chat is doing? He's just delaying 2 players this whole time and giving the rest of his team time to prepare on the opposite end of the map. They're going to take down Renshiro, but there's Shaiko on to Vito. EMPs are going to be used, trying to bait out the player from inside of the vault. As Renewals will find one onto a Lems. It's working well now for Chaos, but BDS are still in this one. Shaiko will take down one more. He's secretly, but the flank from Renewals works well. The Ash from behind. Seems like this is still a viable strategy. The diffuser is, though, on its own to be picked up by Chate, and this is the time for Shaiko and Aronix, aka RX, to just fall.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Well, if Shaiko doesn't get killed here, this is still very clutchable for BDS, especially with support from RXWD. But Chaos needs to find the locations of these players. Does spot Shaiko, but way too slow in the reaction time.
Reloading, cover me.
You just got to pinch him out. At least they know where he's generally at now. They need to play as a team together to get this kill, but they've got to watch for the flanks here from Ironix, aka RXWD. There we go. Nice
the play, and there's the
Shaiko.
Can they know where he is? He's back at bunks and Renewals. The flanks on the Ash. GG, well played. 7-2 victory for Chaos. And it seems like, just like in ranked or casuals or unranked, an Ash crutch walking around the map, going by your flank, is enough for a victory. And of course, it is all about that beautiful elite skin Man, Lara Clark fan right here.